Hello, everybody. It's Nick here. Um, Wanted to talk about a few things. First off, I've been on a bit of hiatus. I don't think many people could tell because I usually don't upload as much as I used to. By the way, anyone like my Dr. House shirt? Pretty cool. Um, I picked up a couple games. One of them is House MD for the DS because it's my favorite show right now, and I just had to get the video game when I was really surprised. I found it by mistake. I looked um, a, a video game for it, so it's like I had to get it. Now, it's very interesting about this game. I've never owned a European game before, but apparently the cases are a lot thicker, so than what we have in the U.S. and what they have in Japan. But what's really interesting about this game is that it was developed in the U.S., I think by Legacy Entertainment or Glyphic. I think it's Glyphic. And it was only released in Europe. So a game developed in America, but only released in Europe. That's kind of weird. I think for a while it was available on the 3DS shop, but I don't know for sure. It's pretty much kind of like a puzzle game. You know, you ask the patients questions. It's not like a Life and Death 2. You know, I remember that computer game. Um, but it's just, I just had to get it because it's such an obscure title. So yeah, you can only get it in Europe. I think I paid about 30, 40 for it, but that's because shipping was a pain in the ass. I mean, ordering it from, I think this came from England, I think. So yeah, it was interesting. Next game I have will be a lot more interesting to you guys though, and that is Doom 64 for the Japanese Nintendo 64. Now I'll admit I was a bit disappointed because I thought this game would have a lot of like at least textual differences, but surprisingly no. The only thing that's in Japanese in this game is like the little HUD status text messages. So like when you pick up ammo or a stim pack, whenever you pick up something or whatever, that's when it displays something in Japanese. But even the cutscenes, I thought they would at least be in Japanese, but they're not. They're in English. So besides that, the only real difference that this game has between the US version is that well, one, the default brightness is turned up, so that's cool. But what was it? Oh, but the blood splatter is green, which is really weird because when the enemy's corpses still have red blood, so that's kind of weird. I think even your character, like when he gets hit, and you can see the blood spatter, it's green, which is just weird. I don't know why they did that. It's kind of like what they did for Doom 2 on the Game Boy Advance, I think. But at least that one, you know, all of the blood was green. It wasn't just the blood spatter. So it's just really weird. I think maybe they intended to do the blood on the corpses too, but like they just didn't have time or forgot or something. I don't know. But it's pretty much exactly the same game. But here's the thing. I've never actually finished this game on the actual N64. I've beaten the Switch version. You guys probably saw my playthrough of the PC version. And if you haven't, you better watch it. But I never actually beat the original Nintendo 64 version. And that's weird because, you know, Doom Master. But come on, guys, can you really blame me? I came up with the name when I was like 12 years old. So, but what happened was I did get to the final level of the US game. And what happened was I was missing one or two of the artifacts, which made it pretty much impossible to beat the last level. I won't spoil it for you, but if you don't get the artifacts from the secret levels, you're pretty much screwed. I mean, it's almost impossible to win. I don't even know if it is possible to win against the final boss. But, yeah. So it was published by Game Bank. What is that, like a bank with a vault full of games or something? I don't know. They also did the PlayStation version. And I don't think did I ever show anyone that I own the Saturn version? It's almost sealed version. Oh crap, all my things are here. But yeah, I actually own the Saturn version. And I have a Sega Saturn, but it's just the console. I don't have any of the plugins for it, so too bad. But anyways, as I said earlier, I've been on a bit of a hiatus lately because I actually lost two family members. So if you're the praying kind, please send prayers to my family and everything. My great uncle, or my grandmother's brother, he was on dialysis, and so my it's actually three family members I've lost this year. Um, my great aunt, his wife, she had cancer, but I guess she suffered a fatal fall, if you will. Um, and So that was the first thing. So, but basically, I bring that up because my great uncle just, you know, I've never had dialysis before, and I hope I never do. But from what I hear, it's really excruciating, and he just didn't want to go on anymore. I wish I had a chance to say goodbye to him, but unfortunately, sometimes we don't have that. I remember I saw him a few years. The last time I saw my great uncle was probably a few years ago, maybe 2019, maybe. Yeah, when I said, hey, well, I'll see you later. When I left, I never thought that was going to be the last time I saw him, though. And then I had a cousin, Ricky. Now, I hadn't seen him since the family reunions when I was around the age of like 10. So it's been a long time, almost 20 years since I last saw him. But my father told me that he was brutally murdered. Downtown Seattle, man. That's why you got to be careful when you go down there. I go down there every now and then, but it's not what it used to be anymore. It's a lot less safe, I know some people think it's a utopia, but it's like you really got to be careful when you're down there. You got to be careful where you park, what's in your car when you leave it, because it's starting to get as bad as California. You're almost guaranteed to come back to your car and someone broke into it. And if you're lucky, someone might even steal your car, hot-wired and shit, because the cops don't do anything down there. They're told not to, but that's a different story. But yeah, I mean, be safe out there, guys. I mean, every time I'm down in Seattle, because that's where the Pink Gorilla is and Owls is. Those are both game stores, by the way. So that's why I go down there, because they, if they had locations further up north where I live, then I would have no problem going there instead. But just be careful. Okay, so I saw something on YouTube that kind of made me giggle a bit, even though I agree with a bit of it. But I guess Corey X Kenshin, I think is his name. I'm not really familiar with him. I've seen like maybe a few videos of his like security breach stuff. But he was saying that YouTube is either biased or they're racist. Okay, as far as playing favorites go, I'm sure YouTube does that. I mean, who wouldn't think YouTube doesn't do that? I mean, I think it's pretty easy. I think it's pretty obvious that they do. As for being racist, are you really serious with that? You really think YouTube is like, oh, he's a black guy, we can't. So basically, I guess what happened was him and Markiplier and a bunch of other gamers did some game. I can't even remember what it was. And because of the mature content or something, or one of the cutscenes or something like that, YouTube basically restricted this guy's video, or age restricted it. Which, if that were me, I wouldn't even care. It's like, as long as the video didn't get taken down or didn't get its audio muted or whatever, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But the fact that he's gonna say, but Markiplier, I guess, had the same cutscene or video, whatever, play through the same part of the game, and his wasn't age restricted. And then, like, one thing led to another. Corey X Kenshin's video wasn't age restricted, then it was age restricted, then Mark's video was age restricted. It's like, look, can we agree that YouTube doesn't do their job? I think we all agree. Ever since, I remember when I was on YouTube, BA, during the BA area, before ads, remember how nice that was? Remember how simple the interface was? You had a little screen, you know, there weren't all these freaking ads all over the place, or at least not before you watch the video. Entering a comment was easy, making a YouTube account was easy. The only crappy thing about it was the 10 to 15 minute limit. I think it was 10 minutes. Then they did 15 minutes, then they did everybody. But yeah, I remember that time. That was awesome. You know, I was, in the 2000s, the early 2000s, you know. I remember that. I started YouTube when I was back in 2006, so I was probably like 12 years old, yeah. And YouTube's what made me want to get an account, but then I had to get an email account. And I think I've told the story before, but basically I was in the first room of Final Doom TNT Evolution. That's where I came up with the name Doom Master 1994. It makes me cringe now, but some people like it, so I don't care about what it means to me. I care, like my music, I don't really care what it means to me. If I don't like it, it doesn't matter. It's whether other people like it. So basically, yeah, this Corey X Kenshin guy either, blamed YouTube for either being, being partial towards another YouTuber, or being or being racist. And it's like, can we stop with the racist thing? Like, seriously, it's getting old. It's almost like trolling at this point. To say something or someone is racist because, they disagree with some black guy's opinion. I find it funny when I've had leftists call me racist, because it's like I don't agree with them on something. And it's like, well, if I'm racist, why do I have black friends? And it's funny how they try to say that that's not a legitimate argument, but it is. I mean, I thought the definition of racism was not liking someone due to their skin color. Well, I have friends who are black, and I'll tell you the truth, most of them think that this is a bunch of shit too. This whole racist thing, everyone's racist. White privilege and all this stuff. Stupid. But let's stop that, okay? It's getting really immature, it's getting really juvenile, and racism is virtually non-existent. There's probably like 5-10 people in the world who are stupid enough to think, that, someone's better because of the color of their skin, but other than that, not really. That doesn't really exist. Brings me to my another point. This is something that people hate to hear me say, but I think it needs to be said. I need to, every now and then I need to spout some truth on here on this channel. I hate this because I don't know if you can see this. There's a spider right now. The spider. Oh my gosh! Wow. You see that? See that? Like, yeah, he's crawling out from his web. You're gonna put him in the trash. Won't kill him. Just help yourself. Anyways. But anyways, so what I was going to say was, this illusion people have, or delusion I should say, people have of the possibility of world peace. There's that song, The Miracle by Queen, where it's like, that time will come, one day you'll see, when we can all be friends. And as catchy as that is, it's a lie. It's a freaking lie. I don't think Queen was intentionally lying. I think that's a delusion most people have, to think that there will be world peace one day. It's never going to happen. Okay, there's always going to be people who think different, and though sometimes those opinions could be looked over, or they can be like thrown to the side, and people can still be friends. Sure, but then there's people with radically different ideas. Like the radical Muslims or the radical Christians or whatever, they're always going to exist. And unfortunately, it's never gonna, that's gonna be around till the end of time. Whether you believe in God like I do or not. I mean, there's always going to be people with political differences, and that seems to if it's not religion, it seems politics is what's breaking up people the most nowadays. I don't have any shame in saying I'm conservative, and I'm willing to, listen to people on the left and their ideas and stuff. But it's that's another thing though. It's like a lot of screwed up stuff in my country right now that's going on, and I'm not going to go over that because, I mean, I'm going way off topic as it is. But basically, I'm just tired of the whole, everyone is racist. I'm a black YouTuber. Look, I'm a white guy on YouTube, okay? And I've been on the platform since, like I said, 2006, 2007, I think. 2007 or 2008 is when I got my account back because of what happened. But I've been on the platform that long, and I don't have even half as many subscribers as Cortex Kenshin does. So the next time, that's like if a black CEO, like let's say Herman Cain was still running Godfathers, and he was like, "Oh, I'm oppressed because I'm not making as much as the owner of Amazon or something." It's like that doesn't mean you're oppressed though because of your skin color. I don't think Herman Cain would say that anyway. He was a Republican, but we need to stop this whole, everyone is racist thing because it's so stupid. It's getting old, and honestly, it's getting on everyone's nerves. I'm starting to treat it like it is troll bait, because it's like it's such an obtuse claim, So yes, I agree. I do agree that YouTube does play favorites. I mean, I'm sure it's whoever gets them the most, like the top few people who get them the most views and money and everything. That makes sense. So I could see why they would do that. That doesn't make it right. I think they shouldn't be doing that. But I could see why they do that. So I do agree with that sentiment. But I don't agree with the whole racist thing. Besides, YouTube, I could have swore they, had the whole BLM campaign and everything. When people were destroying the country, in 2020. But doesn't life suck sometimes? But seriously, like this claim sucks, and I've said it a million times. I think I'm done, and I need to go to sleep because I have to go to work. But that is another thing I wanted to bring up. I don't want to end the video on a sour note, especially if this is my last video. Not that I'm going anywhere, but you never know. I could die anytime. Like my cousin did. I can go at any time. So all I'm saying is, if this is my last video, one thing I learned from Dr. House from that show's when Wilson's when his wife dies, he's taking her off the life support. And he's like, why aren't you angry? And she says, I don't want my last moments to be, anger. Or that's not how I want my last feelings to be. And it's like, that's how I am though. So I don't want to end the video on a sour note. So I do have some good news. At my work, it's a hectic schedule. And I think that's contributed a lot to my depression. I don't usually tell people I'm depressed because I don't want people's sympathy. It's the last thing I want. I don't want people to go, oh, you poor thing, But I think that's been contributing to my depression. And I looked at my schedule for next week. And or not this upcoming week, but the week after. And it looks like I'm going over 2 swings. See, the way my work does scheduling, and see, here's the thing, I don't really talk about my work because, in case, I always get paranoid that they're watching. I don't want them to go, hey, you want to talk about something? I don't want them to think that I hate my job. I don't. But the night shift, I worked at this site for 2 years. I worked at the security company since 2018. As of 2020, the first site I was at, they didn't want to hire security anymore. They wanted to cut corners. So I got transferred to a different site, which I'll admit is more prestigious and closer to my house. The first site I worked at, though, I was swing shifts. I was 4 to 12 Monday through Friday. I'd get weekends off. It was perfect, because after work I could go to the store or whatever, and it'd be like no line. Then I could go home and, I could stay up, or I could go to sleep, and then I have the weekends off. It was perfect. But when I went to this site, all the swing positions were filled, so I had to do night shift. And I just think the way my work does night shifts are pretty crappy. So the way it works is, okay, you work. The advantage is you get 3 days off a week, considering there's no overtime, which for us there has been because we've been short-staffed for a long time. But the problem is the night shift. There's 2 night shifts, okay? Like one guy works all of them work weekends, but then there's the day shift night guards because they work day shift on the weekend. So here's how it works. Like in my case, so I'd be off Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Then I'd work Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 hours, unless I come in for 12 because again we are short staffed, so sometimes they have to do that. On the weekends, it's mandatory 12 hours. And not only that, but I have to change my sleep schedule twice a week because I work the night shifts, Monday through Friday, the days that I work. And then that's 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., by the way. Then for the day shift, I have to switch my sleep schedule. I have to be at work at 7 a.m. and I leave at 7 p.m. for 2 days in a row. Then Monday comes, I'm off, and I have to mess up my sleep schedule again. So it's a really like one of the worst ideas I've seen. But the good news is though I am moving on to a swing position, and I might have to work a weekend or two. I don't know how this is gonna work. But on normal schedule, swing shift gets weekends off. And I really think this is going to be a healthy change for me. I think it's going to help me do a lot better. I'm actually feeling good again. So, that's good. And before I go, there is one last thing I wanted to talk about. I was kicking myself for a while because ever since 1997, there's this large arcade down in Seattle called GameWorks, and there were other locations too. I'll talk about one of them in a minute. But my father sent me an article. Like, he sends me stuff on Facebook all the time. But December 2021, I just happened to look at one of the articles he sent me, because usually I ignore them. And it was about how GameWorks closed down. And I was really shattered because it was like, I'd been there quite a few times in 2021, but I thought, every time I'd go there, I wanted to do a video, and I thought, well, I'll do it next time I go. I'll do it next time I go. I'd come back the next time. I'll do it next time I go. Come back the next time. I'll do it next time I go. And then they closed down, and I was like, I was really shattered because, I only went to that place a couple times during my childhood, but, especially going there as an adult, it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, they got rid of their F-Zero AX arcade. That was awesome. The 18-wheeler arcade, I loved that because like the cabinet was like stepping into an actual semi-truck. But they'd have kept a lot of the same games. Well, a friend of mine was talking about, I met a friend over the weekend, and he said, hey, I'm gonna go to GameWorks, and I'm like, they're closed, man. They closed down December 2021. And he's like, they reopened. And I'm like, what? Okay, probably under a different name or something, sure, but not the original GameWorks. Well, as far as I know, it's still GameWorks. What happened was a guy, I can't remember his first name, but his last name is like Des Roches or De Roche or something. I don't know. I'm not good with like Romance language last names. But basically, he came in and bought the company, or bought the place, and it's back open for business. So I'm thinking maybe sometime over the next few weeks, I'll have to get my ass over to GameWorks and get a little video for you guys. Hopefully they're okay with that. I don't know if I should call ahead and ask or something, but so the only other GameWorks I've been to was the one in Vegas, which was in last year when I was on vacation in June. I didn't actually play anything there. It was a really tiny store compared to the arcade version. So the one in Vegas is a couple miles off the strip, and it's in this like outdoor mall is what I'd call it. Like, the shops are indoor, but like there's but the buildings are all like outdoor, so to speak. There's not like this whole area covering it, like Northgate Mall or Everett Mall or whatever. And so after GameWorks Seattle closed, so when I went on vacation this year, I thought, okay, well, I'll use the rest of the points in my card at the GameWorks in Vegas. Well, I went over there. Well, as far as I know, it's as far as I know, it's permanently closed, and the one in Seattle is the last one standing. The one in Seattle is massive. It's like 2 floors. There's a ton of games. You got this like giant race car hanging on top. You just want to hope that it doesn't fall on you. But yeah, next time I go, I'll do a video, because even if it's just me playing like a certain game or something. I remember one of the cool things was there's I played this Initial D game they had there, and you get in the freaking booth or whatever, and it moves according to your movements. You have to put the seatbelt on, but it's pretty cool. They have a Hummer game like that. They have another Initial D game. I don't know if it's the same one, but it's just a sit-down one. It doesn't move or anything. But yeah, I gotta go check that place out again. I'm just glad it's there. And they do have food there, but it's expensive. Like $30 to $40 expensive. And you don't even get that much. But maybe I'll do it just because I'm glad the place is back. We'll see. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I noticed, like, OBS showed my mic not being dead or something. I hope that's just the program glitching and not my actual microphone. But I am recording a cover. I'm hoping to have it done within a few weeks. It's just hard to be motivated, but I'm trying to. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope everything goes good. Just stay safe out there. I'm not particularly concerned about COVID. I'm more concerned about getting shot. But I'll see you guys later. God bless. Peace out. Have a good one. I also want to give a shout out to Classic Doom's channel. They commented on my Doom 64 playthrough, but their videos have helped me play through the Japanese version. Ugh.